This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey book friends, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first time reader going through this 15-book series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's acting as my tour guide on this journey. We are very excited to welcome a new executive producer level patron to our team. So we'd like to introduce you to Rikky Morrisette. Thank you so much for your support and your generosity. It really does mean so much to us. Rikky joins the ranks of Brandy and Kirkwood, Andre the Man in White, Chad Welsh, Sean McGuire, and Laura and Johnny Lewis. We'd also like to welcome 2 new patrons to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. So thank you and welcome to Nathaniel Friday and Anthony Romano. We're really excited to have your support and thank you so much for your contributions. In this episode, we're talking about chapter 16 and 17 of The Fires of Heaven.
Yeah, so chapter 16, we have an unexpected offer, and chapter 17 is heading west.
Okay.
And hey, stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited because we finally get to find out what happened to our favorite...
Circus.
Well, circus, but also I was going to say our favorite brother?
Oh, no.
Half-brother?
Yeah, half-brother.
Right? So much good stuff going on here.
Oh my god, so much stuff.
Yeah, plus you thought that we weren't going to see the circus anymore, and then
we're
we
gonna
do
get
see
to
the circus.
You must have been like, oh man, you're so stupid.
So good.
You're in for it. Here it comes.
Yep.
It's coming back.
Some of my finest acting when I was like, yep, we're never seeing the circus again.
Oh, isn't that so funny?
So funny.
They saw the circus and left.
Classic.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so let's get into this. No, but we do have stuff to talk about, so.
Yeah.
And for this fun fact, since we finally do get to find out what happened to Galad, and we can talk about that, I have a fun fact about Galad.
Okay.
And you actually might know some of this because we've kind of chatted a little bit in the past about this one.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so we've talked about how like the characters and locations we see in Andor are pretty heavily drawn from the King Arthur mythology.
Sure. Hold on, though. I thought today you were going to talk about strawberries.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Because Nynaeve is like, what is this berry? It doesn't taste like straw.
Yeah, or, yeah, not like any berry I've seen, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has it like with whipped cream or something, but it's not whipped cream, it's like dolloped. I don't know. I don't know the words for that. But anyways, it's about Galad. So.
Clotted cream.
Clotted cream, that's the one.
Clotted cream is something that I think that they actually have, like in the UK.
That sounds like it, yeah.
I don't know what
Doesn't
it is.
Doesn't sound exactly like whipped cream.
You know what it reminds? It sounds to me like cottage cheese.
Oh, it might be. We'll have to look that up halfway through.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Can you tell me about Galad, though? Sorry.
Yeah, Galad. Okay, so the name. So Galad is based on one of the knights from the King Arthur mythology. Do you remember? Can you guess this one? Galad is based on Galahad.
I don't know.
Nothing?
No.
You don't know anything about this. Okay, that's okay.
No.
Okay, so Galad...
Could you tell by my blank stare?
I did. I picked that up afterwards.
Super knowledgeable in this?
Well, like some people know some of the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, I know none.
Okay, so Galad is probably based on Sir Galahad of the King Arthur myths.
Cool.
So he's one of the knights from King Arthur's Round Table, and he's the son of Lancelot, and his mother's name is Elayne.
Oh!
Yeah, fun.
That's okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Spelled differently, it's Elaine.
Okay.
Okay, but Galahad is also renowned for his gallantry, which is courageous behavior, and his purity as the most perfect of all knights. So Galad sounds just about the exact same.
Most perfect.
Most perfect. It's
most
pretty funny.
Beautiful man in the world.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
And then also, so Galahad was the son of Lancelot, but Lancelot's original name was Galahad or Galad. And then it got changed when he was a child, which isn't really relevant, but that's where Galahad got his name from, was his original name.
Okay.
And
that's fun.
Yeah, and then the last thing here...
Oh, there's more.
There's a couple more, yeah.
Okay.
Like 2 more, okay.
Okay.
So a couple parallels with Galahad and his father Lancelot, and then Galad and his father Terengale. So Lancelot was a great knight, but he had a ton of flaws and indiscretions. So Lancelot was far from perfect, and he failed in his mission to retrieve the Holy Grail because of his sins. And then Galahad is basically like a counter to his father's indiscretions, where he's like the most perfect, where his father definitely not.
Okay.
And then for Galad, it's kind of the exact same thing, because clearly Terengale had some flaws, right? Because he tried to, like, you know, get Morgaze murdered and all that stuff.
Allegedly.
So Terengale is not perfect, but Galad is like the perfect counter to his own father. So there's like that similarity too, coming from the King Arthur myths.
Okay.
And then the last part here is that King Arthur himself proclaimed Galahad as the greatest knight ever.
Whoa.
Whoa, okay, so maybe we'll see some development with Galad later on. As being like the most perfect.
Well, I think that we already see that.
Like greatest knight, yeah, so.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Fun comparisons, okay.
Okay. All right, well, let's get into these chapters.
Yeah, let's do it, okay.
Time's a-wasting. So last time, the girls did some crazy dream stuff. Mostly Nynaeve, but Egwene was there too.
Yeah, doing some questionable stuff.
Doing some questionable stuff that neither of them should be doing, but I was here for it because they found out some pretty important information.
Yeah, about the tower and Elyda and all that.
Yeah, but we had Egwene treating Nynaeve not so nice.
Yes. You know, really importantly about them finding out is now we can figure out that now Moiraine knows, and also that means Rand's gonna know, so it really helps the entire world. Like, all the important people are now knowing about the tower business.
Right, because that did happen at the end of last chapter, where Egwene told Moiraine.
Yes, and she was like, you can tell Rand.
Yes.
So, crossing the fingers, she's gonna tell Rand.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to affect anything. I don't think that Rand gives a shit who's Amyrlin.
Yeah, because even if she's, like, now thinking about it, it's like, oh, don't trust Aes Sedai? Okay.
Oh, now we shouldn't.
Yeah, now I won't trust them, for sure.
Yeah, no. Okay.
But yeah, okay, good to know.
He should know important events that are going around, like, around the world.
I agree, yeah.
Going on around the world, but yeah. Anyway. Chapter 16, an unexpected offer.
Very unexpected, I hope.
Yeah, and the chapter symbol is the white cloak sunburst.
Yes.
The big old sun.
Not the Kyrian rising sun.
Not that one. No, I didn't think that this time.
Good.
So we enter in a Nynaeve perspective. It's finally morning for Nynaeve, and she's waking up from her events with Egwene in Tel'aran'rhiod last night, and she's had some not-so-good dreams about Elyda, Moghedien.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff here.
Rand and Elyda, and then Egwene. So
yeah, Rand is like lying like a dog beside Elyda. It's not good. It's kind of weird.
Well, because that's what she's worried about, right? She's worried about them basically caging Rand.
Yeah, it's good that Nynaeve doesn't have like prophetic type dreams.
No,
we've never seen anything like that. I don't believe that any
of this means anything. This is like
it's just bad dreams.
It's just dreams.
Yeah.
And so Nynaeve has the 3 scratches running down her neck from the encounter with the quote men that Egwene created in Tel'aran'rhiod that attacked her. Not great, but good lesson, good learning lesson. That was my point last time.
I know we got into some heated discussion. I think.
Yeah, hopefully though. Like, and I only remember like half of it.
That's okay. There was a fair amount of liquor flowing, if anyone couldn't tell.
It was like the longest episode.
Yeah.
Almost longest. But yeah.
Well, you don't agree with her methods, perhaps.
But I do think it was important for Nynaeve
effective,
to learn some lessons about the dangers of Tel'aran'rhiod.
And you know what? Let's see if those lessons actually pay off.
Know,
like, let's see if she...
I think that they will. I just don't think Nynaeve will admit it out loud to anybody, because she doesn't even tell Elayne
I was gonna say
all
she like
the things that happened last night.
Nothing about that stuff, because I think she said that she like tripped and fell into a thorn bush or something, like terrible lie like that.
Just the worst.
What happened to all that lying stuff too that we just covered last chapter?
You don't lie, remember?
Unless you really want to,
right?
Unless I don't want people to know the truth, that's when I should lie.
That's when it's always.
That's when it's okay to lie. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't get any more about that, though, because now we need to talk about the plan. Going forward, we've learned that Elyda is the new Amyrlin, and Elayne thinks that they should just abandon the coach that they're traveling in.
Yeah.
Once they reach the river.
Yes.
Find a riverboat to take them down to Abu Dar, and then find a ship to Tyr, and abandon the plan to go to Tar Valon altogether.
And that kind of makes sense. And they are on the same boat. Haha. Pun. Okay. They're on the same page.
That they should go to Tyr.
That they should go to Tyr, but it's just how they're going to get to Tyr. And it's actually kind of an interesting thing here, too, because they've clearly talked a little bit about it, and they've been thinking about it for a while.
Right, but basically just since last night.
Yeah.
Right? Like since Nynaeve woke up out of Tel'aran'rhiod,
Yeah.
discussed the events, and then they went to bed.
Yeah, so it's when Elaine's like, I've been thinking about it, and I think that the boat's the fastest way. So it's kind of funny for two reasons that I want to bring up. One is because Nynaeve already, said no to the boat to get them to Tar Valon in the first place, and then was regretting it. But again, she's not on board with the whole boat trip. But that's because, is the goal to just get to Tyr, or is it to find this gathering of blues?
Right. Now that's the thing.
That's kind of the big question here, is what do we actually want to accomplish here?
Right. And Nynaeve also was like, I hate boats.
Yeah, that whole thing too.
Right.
But I know that you probably want to go to Ebu Dar because that's the place that you want to go and see.
I want to see Ebu Dar, but I absolutely do not want to go there right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
want them to get to Altera and accidentally find this meeting of the blues. They are so close.
Yeah.
And I want the meetup. I still want it.
Okay.
And now, let me tell you, after next chapter, I'm so annoyed.
It's pretty funny.
I'm so pissed off. Remember I told you I was going to throw the book in the fireplace if this exact thing happened?
Yep, and now it's happening.
I'm so annoyed.
Now we got to get a fireplace that you can throw a book into.
Oh my god, I'm so mad.
It's so funny. Okay, let's get there.
Okay. So we have some more topics to discuss.
Yes, yeah.
So first, it's that Nynaeve can't remember the name of where the blues are gathering.
Yes, now we know it. It's Saladar.
Yeah, and we definitely know it's a name, and Nynaeve thinks that it might be a city or a town, but she can't really remember. And she's like, it'll come to me. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
it's one of those things. So she was reading the slip of paper when it was Egwene who yelled out or something oh no.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things where it's slips your mind after you read it.
Or she didn't actually read it properly.
She didn't store it in her long-term memory.
But is she just not admitting that? So yeah, maybe it'll come to her. Sometimes you can let your brain run in the background.
Well, there's a minute here where we'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay. But the second topic, this is good too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Brigida.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Brigida thing.
The Brigida thing, that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because Nynaeve sent her looking for Moghedien.
Yeah.
But we also know that maybe Brigida is about to be turned out into the world as a baby, at any moment.
Possibly. That's a big question mark.
Because I was if they go back to the dream world and she can't find Brigida, it's not oh no, Moghedien killed her.
Yeah, it's
it
she was
just be
born.
Yeah, or literally anything else. But
yeah, because now we got Geidel Kane, we found out is now probably a baby in the real world because he just got spun out, so Brigida's time is coming. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
But the funny thing, and we talked about this last time too, but it's the girls are super worried about Brigida going up against Moghedien, but you're a hero of the Horn in the dream world. You've got special powers that regular people don't.
Yeah.
I just don't really understand why they're so worried. And I know it's because,
it's because they care about her and they don't understand that people can be way better than you.
But her thing was oh, she can't channel. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. These women can't understand, or at least we haven't seen them being able to understand.
Yeah.
That other people
are competent. Yeah.
are competent and way better and stronger than you.
That's true too. Yeah.
And smarter and more knowledgeable and more experienced.
Yeah.
They can't even acknowledge that
she's basically an immortal soul in her little universe here.
Yeah,
so
I know, and it's we're worried for her.
Yeah,
it's she'll be okay.
Lan is worried about me. That was Nynaeve's thought too.
Oh yes, right.
Oh man, do you even remember last chapters?
Not really.
Okay. Well, you should listen to the episode.
I will. I can't wait.
Stuff.
That editing is gonna. I haven't edited it yet. It's gonna take.
You'll get a recap of everything.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be a long one. Okay, so at this point they head into the common room. There are white cloaks here. Elayne is acting like the lady that she's pretending to be, and it's really hot outside. Plus, we get a bunch of description of all their breakfast food that they order, and Nynaeve thinks strawberries are weird.
And Nynaeve doesn't like snobby rich people.
No, she does not.
But those strawberries.
Hey. They were okay.
Yeah, okay.
A refreshing breakfast.
Clotted cream.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I need to look up what it is. Okay, so clotted cream. Sometimes called Devonshire or Cornish cream, so probably an English thing.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, it's a thick cream made by indirectly heating full cream cow's milk using steam or a water bath, and then leaving it in shallow pans to cool slowly.
Any sugar, or it's just...
Yeah, no, the cream content rises to the surface and forms clots.
Oh, and that's what's
yeah,
it's
a tub of clotted cream.
Okay.
Okay, sounds like it's something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a yogurt? I don't know how yogurt's made.
I don't
so-
even know what this
All
is
right, never
comparable
mind.
to.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. A dairy product that you can put on your strawberries.
Yeah, okay.
How about that?
Good to know.
Hey, UK people.
Yeah, tell me.
Help us out with that one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on from
Okay,
the
from
refreshing breakfast.
The important stuff. Now let's get to the real important stuff.
Right,
So.
because something happens here.
Yes.
Freaking Galad
Yeah.
walks in, sits down with them,
Yes, right at the
catches
table.
them right off guard.
Yep.
Like they weren't expecting anything like this.
No, especially not freaking Galad.
Freaking Galad. I thought it was you, Elayne, but the hair put me off at first.
Nice. So you even confused Galad for half a second. So that's a pretty good disguise.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
not only is it Galad, though, it's Galad in a white cloak uniform.
Yes.
Which makes sense. I predicted this one.
Yeah, I mean, there was
I
a
didn't
lot of
predict-
hints.
Yeah, yes.
A lot of hints because he, like, had that book back in Tar Valon
And he was like hanging out with the white cloaks.
Yeah, and then he disappeared. So, but that was the big question is, like, that's what we got it answered.
He left with Eamon Valda.
Yeah, he's a white cloak now, and
Nope.
he's in Amnesia.
Ugh,
So,
God. He's
okay.
the freaking worst. He's just like, as if he couldn't get worse.
Yeah, now he's a white
Now
cloak.
here's more that's like worse.
It's
So
pretty funny.
Elayne asks him, "What the hell are you doing wearing that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I'm here because he's one of the children who was recalled from the north,
Yeah.
and he's a child of the light because it's the right thing to do."
Yeah, so it's like totally a Galad move when you think
Huge.
about it.
Huge Galad move.
But there's a lot of questions that come with that, and we talk about some of them throughout the chapter, but it's like his sister, his mother, the girl he likes, like they're all involved with the White Tower. That's where his training
Okay,
was.
can you tell me the difference
Sure.
between Galad always doing the quote right thing
Sure.
and Giotto?
Yeah, so Elaine's issue with Galad is that he will do the right thing regardless
Even
of
if
who it hurts.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it hurts. It's like if it's the right thing to do,
But
then I'm going to do it.
will the Aiel do that as well?
No, it's about your honor and obligation. So the way I kind of think of it is like sometimes it is the right move to lie about something if the occasion calls for it, if it protects somebody.
Right.
But like Galad wouldn't lie about something because you don't lie. Don't lie. So no matter who gets hurt or whatever, he's going to be a lousy snitch.
Because I was just thinking, yeah, I know. Well, I
Yeah.
was just thinking about Avienda
Sure.
admitting to the wise ones that she lied to somebody.
Yeah.
And getting switched for it.
Yeah, we kind of piece together the lies that she told, and they're not like protecting anybody except her
herself.
her own feelings.
Yeah, I know.
Like internally.
I don't know. It's just
so.
an interesting
Yeah.
take, I think, to think of it that way, as Galad just legitimately feels like he's honoring his obligations
So it's kind of like
society.
it's a lawful good situation versus like a neutral good or a chaotic good situation. Just
I actually understand that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why paladins are the worst. Anyways, fight me. Okay.
All right, moving on though.
Okay.
Okay. Don't fight Brett. He's very weak.
No. Yeah, don't actually. With words, but be nice because
like he also
I can't take criticism very well.
Yeah. Okay. So Nynaeve questions Galad on his rank, his high rank in the children.
Yeah, he's moving up. He's moving up.
Really fast.
Real fast.
And he's like, "Oh, it's because Eamon Valda thinks that my experience warrants it.
Yeah.
Even if I was trained in Tar Valon."
Yeah, so it basically means Galad is like so good that they're not going to kick out this recruit just because he got trained there.
I think it's also his name.
That too. There's like a lot of good reasons to bring Galad Damodred into the mix.
Yes.
So like, yeah.
And I mean, we also did get that he is really good. Like, he's a good swordsman.
He's phenomenally good.
Yeah.
Like, we know that Gawain...
And he has a very commanding presence, and I think that honestly is the most important thing of a White Cloak officer.
Yeah, just, like, be
I don't
imposing.
think you actually have to be good at fighting. I don't think you actually have to be good at anything, actually even leading. I think you just need a commanding presence.
Impose your will on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Galad has that.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got it good.
Yeah. Okay. So then we get this funny little conversation between Elayne and Galad, because Elayne says, "Does Mother know of this?"
Yeah.
And Galad's like,
no.
He totally doesn't even answer. He's like, it's not a good time. I was thinking I was gonna, but then I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's just been such a crazy ride down here that I haven't found the time yet.
It reminds me of when we found out that, like, Egwene had sent a bunch of letters home to her parents to, like, let them know.
Like 3, but
all
yeah.
the boys, yeah, that's a bunch. And
Yeah.
all the boys were like, we're supposed to write?
Yeah.
Like, what?
No,
Yeah.
I think Galad knows that he's supposed to write.
He's just not doing
And this is his, like, way around what's right.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting that he's doing something, like, he hasn't, like, it'd be one thing if he was like, oh yes, I told Mother immediately because she should know what I'm doing and where I am.
Yeah.
Even if it's something she won't like. Like, that's more Galad to me.
Yeah, so now we're getting into, like, the little bit of, like, a hypocritical nature of what he's doing. So, but let's go further with that as we progress.
Right, and
Yeah.
Elayne also mentions that she has written to more gays.
Yes, which is also hilarious.
Is that the one from Matt? The letter that Matt delivered?
So we don't...
Is that what she's talking about?
It could be. Like, it could be that. But she also may have sent more. Like, we don't really know.
But it doesn't even matter.
But it's also funny because there's also fake letters coming from the White Tower.
Oh, right.
To
Yes,
but it all
right.
doesn't matter because Morgaze is under Ravine's control.
But they're going to get to Ravine.
Yeah.
And Ravine's going to know where she is and what she's doing then.
Well, he'll be getting, like, 2 different...
Right.
So...
He might be able to, because he knows the one that came from Matt. Well, he doesn't actually know which one it's actually from. I'm sure he'd be able to find a writing sample and, like, maybe figure it out if he cared to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because he was calling for her.
He was.
He was, like, putting a hit out on her. And that was 2 books ago.
Yeah.
And we haven't really heard of anything since of him wanting to dispose of her.
It also kind of depends on the attention span of the Forsaken.
Right.
Like, to what extent...
It's like, that didn't work. I'm on to my next plan.
Exactly,
She's
right?
out of my hair for now.
Legitimately might be a thing where it's like, doesn't really matter anymore. So...
I doubt it, actually. I think the hit's still out.
Okay.
I think they should be more cautious.
Well, that's like a given. So
yeah, okay.
Just like in general.
That's fair. Okay, I also want to point out that through this entire conversation, both of Elayne and Galad are being very careful not to say words like Aes Sedai, Tar Valon. Like Galad says, I came from the north.
Yeah.
Right? And, I trained in
Which
the
is
north.
all smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
good.
That's good. So here, Galad mentions that he's worried about Egwene.
Yeah.
And I was like, is she with you? I was hoping she's okay and she's safe with you. And they're like, no, she's not with us. But don't give him any more information.
Not telling him, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is how we got into this mess in the first place, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because the whole Gawain and Galad thing, they wanted to know where the girls were the entire time. That's why, like,
and he's
Gawain...
like, I immediately figured out that you weren't doing penance on a farm.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's like, you're not on a farm. It's like,
and it's
yes.
like, you didn't immediately figure that out. No, you didn't. I saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you trying to find information, and you didn't know. You were trying to find where the farm was.
And Gawain was, like, killing his mentors and stuff.
Oh, well, that
and then
happened.
let Swan and Lyanna out.
Before that happened...
Yeah.
They were trying to figure out, like, that's when Min first got to the tower. Galad was rushing out of there being like, Glawen, not Galad.
Yeah, same person. It doesn't matter. They're the same, so.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, at this point, like, not important.
Okay, we also get an interesting note that Gawain also is worried about Egwene's whereabouts, and we get that Gawain is still in the tower. He's still in the north.
Yeah, and, like, we know that, but now they know that, so.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be real bad news bears once Elayne figures out that Gawain was working with and for Elyda.
I thought it would be more of a thing us finding out or us seeing Elayne find out that Elyda's now Amyrlin, because they do have a relationship.
Yeah, but it clearly doesn't seem like a good one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I thought I'd see more of that. Like, I was kind of interested in that, but yeah, it really doesn't seem good.
Yeah, it seems bad. At least a little bit damaged, so.
Yeah. Okay, but this is where Galad drops the bombshell.
Yeah.
Shares the news that Swan has been deposed, stilled, and executed.
Yeah, I mean, which is not accurate.
Not
but
all accurate.
It's interesting because...
Let me tell you how annoying this is.
Oh, okay.
To me.
A lot?
I'm so annoyed. I did not want them finding out like this.
Okay.
Because this is from a source that they don't even know if they can 100% trust.
But now it's going to be extra shocking when they do their whole, like, meetup thing that you think is happening.
It's not happening now.
The meetup's not happening anymore?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Oh my god, do I want it to happen.
But
that's how I know it's not going to happen. Unless
Okay.
somehow on their way to Gildan with the circus, they find out about the Blues' secret meeting.
But what if the foursome that are traveling with like Swan, Liana, and Min and Logain, and they're like, hey, there's a circus, let's go see the circus. And then like we see them doing the performances and they're like, oh my god, it's Elayne and
But like they're not getting to Gildan.
I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball ideas here. Okay, so not happening.
It's not happening. And I really wanted to and I'm so annoyed. Anyway.
Okay. Well.
Swan's deposed, stilled, and executed. And then Galad says, don't worry, little sister.
Yeah. Okay, this actually...
I'll be sure...
It's not bad.
I'll be sure that my captain gives me leave to escort you and Nynaeve back to Camelin.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve thinks, finally, someone recognizes me.
Yeah.
Because she's been like staring slack-jawed at Galad this entire time, thinking about how beautiful he is.
He's quite handsome.
So beautiful.
Yeah. See? Galahad, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is actually, I think this is a nice gesture from Galad. Like, it's not a bad thing. In any reasonable situation.
This is the best he could offer.
Yeah.
Because he's a White Cloak and he knows their Aes Sedai.
Yeah. And he's like, I can get you out of here safely.
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly already willing to break some of his, like, you know, rules. And let's get a little bit further because we got to talk about this.
Yeah, well, I do want to point out that Galad also says if they tell him where Egwene is, he'll be sure that she gets back to Andor safe as well.
Yeah. And like I said, I do like his offers.
And Elayne doesn't turn him down.
No.
She doesn't say yes. She doesn't say no. She says, I need time to think about this.
Which is a smart move because she doesn't want to give him an answer right now.
Everything that Elayne says here is smart. Everything that she says and does in front of Galad,
yeah,
she knows how to deal with this guy.
Yeah, I agree that she knows how to deal with him, but I disagree that she's right in what her thought process of what his actions are going to be. I don't agree with Elayne that Galad has this big like inner battle about what to do. I want to talk a little bit more about it too, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first though, it's time for Thom. What's his name? Thad.
Oh yeah.
Or something.
It's Thad.
Thom. I thought it was. It's like Tom with an R in there.
Trom.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he's another White Cloak. Comes up and basically just wants to hit on the pretty ladies.
Yeah.
With Galad.
Yeah. Because it's really hard to be like a wingman with Galad because he's the pretty one and you're like the ugly one.
Yeah.
And he keeps taking all the good ladies, but I mean, I don't think Galad is like wooing anybody.
No, but like they flock to him and he strikes up conversations, I'm sure. So Galad plays this off like he doesn't know them.
Again.
But he doesn't lie once.
He doesn't exactly
lie. He does like an Aes Sedai lie.
He does, yeah, exactly what it is.
Yeah,
like it's not.
Which is so funny.
Yeah. Again, which is why like Elaine's like super hypocritical in my opinion on this. So, but like good thinking for Galad to not spill the beans and be like, yeah, it's my sister.
Yeah,
because that opens a whole bunch of.
Galad isn't stupid.
He's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but then at that point, Galad just like glides him away.
Yeah, he leaves. Yeah, and
leaves,
gives them a chance to think about it as it is. So.
And so as soon as Galad leaves, Elayne tells the innkeeper that she must leave immediately and Nana will settle the bill and...
Get my manservants
up to my room and I have to get the F out of here.
Yeah.
There's no time.
And this is the whole part where it's like, I don't necessarily agree with what Elayne thinks. Like, we know that Elayne has this, like, super unreasonable hatred for Galad.
I don't think it's unreasonable.
Well, it's because he's a lousy snitch and she grew up with him and hates him all the time. And like, it's a weird thing. We also know Galad has literally saved Gawain's life multiple times. Like, he's not a bad dude.
No.
Elayne just doesn't like him.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to say that he's puzzling over two things that they're both the right thing but opposite. So on one hand, he should tie her up and ship her back to Morgaze. And on the other is that he should turn her over to the White Cloaks because it's illegal for any woman who's even like trained in the tower to be here. But, like, is Galad really as bad as Elayne thinks she is? Do you legitimately think, like, Galad would turn Elayne in to his White Cloak superiors?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we disagree.
Yeah. So the only reason I think that is because of Min's viewing of Galad.
Okay.
Because in the past, anytime Min has, like, seen Galad, and that was when, like, he was courting Egwene.
Okay.
or something. I actually don't even remember. This was a long time ago. But I do remember that Min would say, be careful of that one. He will always do what's right, no matter who it hurts. And so if Min is saying something like that, I take that to heart. And that's why I don't think that Elayne is exaggerating here. And that's why I think that Galad might be considering...
So I could agree that he might be considering like tying them in a sack and shipping them off to Camelin, which would in itself hurt the women because we know that it's not just Morgaze there anymore.
But he doesn't think that's hurting them. He thinks that's helping them.
But even if Ravine wasn't there, that wouldn't be a damaging thing necessarily to Elayne to be shipped back to her mother. But what my point is, he has given literally zero signs so far that he would actually turn them over to the White Cloaks. He basically I would say even went so far as sort of lying about who she is and who, like, what the relationship is. Like, he's not there to turn them over to the captain here. Like, it doesn't really, like, I don't get those vibes from him here.
Yeah.
He hasn't actually done anything bad, but Elayne hates him so much.
I trust her judgment of him. She knows him. She's grown up with him.
Yeah, and again, like...
I think that she has witnessed him do enough things to people he's claimed to care about.
Yeah.
Even to her. Like, getting her in serious trouble if she did things that she wasn't supposed to be doing.
I mean, that's the whole, like, it just seems like a petty squabble.
It might not be, though.
It might not, but, like,
I think that she has legitimate concern here.
That's the perspective thing. It's just, like, when I read it, all I see is her being bratty. He is not my brother. It's like, first of all...
I know, she does that. But then, she does do a thing where she takes a breath, calms herself down, and says, okay, I get that he's my half-brother. We share a father... But that's as close as we've ever been. Sure. Because he's the worst. Yeah. And I don't think it's bratty here. I think that this is the most calm and cool and collected Elayne has been. I think this is like the smartest Elayne has been.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying that they shouldn't avoid Galad here. I'm just saying, like, I don't believe for a second that he would turn them into the White Cloaks.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
It's a difference in opinions. Yeah. I guess we won't know unless it happens.
Unless it happens. Okay. Or unless he's like, I almost did this to you. Yeah. But you wouldn't have that hard opinion unless...
I very well might. That's not necessarily true.
That's true.
Like, at this point in the series, for all my opinions, I don't see any reason to not trust Galad. Just because you don't like him doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
But what's the reason for not liking him? Like, that's where it comes down to.
Because you grew up with an annoying, lawful, good paladin brother, and it's like, God, get out of here.
No.
Yeah.
We need to move on from this, because, like, we're just going to argue back and forth.
That's true.
That's okay, but I like what Elaine's doing here, and I don't trust Galad either. Okay. I'm like, yeah, he's annoying. He's the worst. So. All right. You know, Nynaeve has your point of view, though. She thinks that Elayne is exaggerating and doesn't think this is as serious as Elayne does. Yeah. And that's why I think with Elayne saying he will always do what's right, always has and always will. Yeah. And so this is going to be tough for him to decide what to do. Yeah. So let's leave and not give him a chance
to make that decision. Okay.
So Thom and Julian get to the room and they all get like bustled inside, and we know the room is small.
Very.
Right.
Close quarters.
And then we get some movement on the weird Thom and Elayne situation.
Yeah, we do. This is kind of funny.
In the process of telling them that Galad is here, Elayne says to Thom, you must remember what a monster he was as a child. Yeah. And then they both realize that she just admitted to remembering who Thom really is.
Yes. Yeah.
And, you know, Thom doesn't disagree that Galad was a monster child.
Well, I mean, again, opinions, right?
Yes, that's literally what everything in this book is an opinion. But, like, I don't know. I can't do this with you.
No, but again, he doesn't take a hard stance on he's a terrible person. He's like, yeah, well, it kind of makes sense that he's a White Cloak now, I guess.
Yeah. I think that Thom knows too.
Yeah. I don't know why you think that he's so evil and would turn in his own sister.
Evil. I think he'll do what's right. And if it's right to turn in his own sister, it doesn't matter who it hurts. That's what's right. Anyway.
Yeah. Again, we're not going to agree on this. Like, you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change yours.
But I think that if Thom wasn't going to take the hard stance on saying, like, oh no, Galad wouldn't do that, like, this whole plan... What they're doing here is nuts.
No, the other issue is that the alternative to him turning them in as a White Cloak is that him, like, forcing them to go back to Camelin.
Yeah.
That's the alternative. They don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah, fair.
So that's kind of why they have to do something. They can't stay here.
All
because Galad is sitting on a freaking bucket outside watching the end.
Like waiting.
Yeah.
And so now they need a plan to escape. And it turns out they can't just like drive the coach through the town.
Yeah, she's the only lady in town and it would be way too obvious.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So the plan is for a back alley escape.
Yes, I love it.
And so then at this point in the chapter, Thom and Elayne discuss politics.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the whole what are the White Cloaks doing thing that you've kind of ignored for the last couple chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
I'll explain it real quick because it's kind of funny, but Aelron is laying claim to a bunch of border villages in Altara, and basically...
Aelron is the king of Amadicia?
Yes,
okay.
Who's not really in control because
Yeah.
Pedronale's in control. But Thom mentions that he's basically... There's a strip of little, like, abandoned villages all the way from Saladar
Yeah.
to So Eben and Masra. So that's kind of like our little hint that Thom just mentioned the word Saladar.
And then Nynaeve thinks something tugs at her memory, but
Yeah.
she doesn't know what or why.
Which is the word Saladar.
And she's like, I could care less about Altara and Amadicia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just basically like Pedronale's plan is like to take over more land.
Yes.
And then move on in, so.
Right. So here's another instance as to why I'm similar to Nynaeve.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want to talk about politics right now.
That's right.
But if she did, maybe she could figure out that Saladar's important.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not.
See, listen to the
probably,
politics
probably
discussions.
Probably not, though.
Okay.
So, Nynaeve asks Julian if there are any thieves here that can help smuggle them out.
In the laundry basket again or something.
Yeah, and then it turns out, though, that there aren't many thieves in Amadicia because the punishments are so harsh.
Just chop your hands off.
And, like, brand your face.
Yeah, and then just hang you.
And then hang you. And
Yeah.
so, also, there's a chance that the prophet
Love
from
this.
Gildan
Yeah.
is going to be coming into Amadicia, and he's crazy.
It's a world tour. Woo!
The
Massima's
prophet.
coming.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, he's up to no good.
Yeah. Don't go to Amadicia. Like,
Yeah.
of all the places
Yeah.
to go, that's not the place for it.
I have a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, happy face to sad face, are you excited to possibly get some sort of, like, do you think we're going to get a follow-up with Massima?
I think that we're going to
versus-
hear about it for the next 10 books.
Or just, like, little
and then
hints?
in the last book, we'll, like, finally
see what is actually
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see him quite yet.
Okay.
Not
okay.
this book.
This is like a long game, game plan.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's so
yeah.
funny.
Okay.
We get spatterings of hints, so.
Okay, well now we get Nynaeve's new plan, and it's to run off and join the circus.
Yes, so funny. I love this.
Alright, so if Val and Luca wants a patron, then they'll be his patrons.
Nice.
So, they can sneak out of here, they make their way back to Luca, and then they're gonna disappear towards Gildan. And I went, oh no! And I
We're
was
going
so
the
annoyed.
wrong way.
That is not the way to go, guys.
Going back to Tenchiko. Okay.
No. So bad. And I'm also confused because isn't Gildan's west of here?
Yeah, it's
But,
we
like,
don't know
northwest?
we don't know where on the road they are because there's like mountains they got to go around and stuff. So Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so new game plan. Thom and Julian will gather the supplies and meet them on the road back to the circus. Nynaeve tells the innkeeper that now they're not leaving, but the lady is napping and doesn't want to be disturbed. And then Nynaeve gets some disguises, like they're back in their wool dresses with like big bonnets that they
yeah,
buy from the serving girl
Yeah.
or something. And then they get ready to sneak out of here. But it's really, really sad. It's making me upset that they have to leave so much stuff behind.
Oh yeah, I said the biggest travesty here is having to leave behind all the good cookware.
Oh my god, so much stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff. It's really sad.
Yeah, so they only pack up basically as much as they can carry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shoot.
and I am such an overpacker.
Yeah.
Because
oh my god.
it makes me anxious to think, what if I want something while I'm on vacation
Yeah.
and I don't have it? I'll be pissed off. But I'll never be mad.
And then I'm trying to like pack the car on the day of the trip, and it's like there's no more room for just these extra few things. There's literally no room in the car.
But we'll be upset if we don't have them if we want them.
Aha, exactly.
Yeah, but I'll never be mad that I brought something and didn't wear it. Like, that's not a thing. But I'll be mad if I don't bring it. Anyway, okay. So they have to leave all their shit. And then while Nynaeve and Elayne are packing and sorting through what to take, Nynaeve asks Elayne, well, so casually.
Oh, yeah, I love this.
Oh, so you knew Thom before?
And they just had this, big discussion.
Oh, I know. And then Elayne is like, yeah, he was a corp art in Caneland when I was little.
Yeah.
He was my mother's lover after her father died.
And this is very shocking to Nynaeve.
She's like, oh, shit.
A lover?
A lover. And then we get some thoughts of Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Where she kind of understands now about the Thom and Elayne thing.
Yeah.
Which, makes me even more confused. Because she's like, I see this all the time when daughters want to hook up with their fathers. And I'm like, what are you saying?
Here's the thing. Here's the way I can explain this, because I literally have no idea what the hell is going on either.
Okay.
And we kind of dabbled in this last chapters too with Spencer, where we also didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah. But I kind of may have pointed out last time, but I want to point it out. It seems kind of like Freudian. And the way, the whole Freudian stuff was kind of popular back then.
I can compare myself to my mother.
Yeah.
If I can get her suitor into me.
And I don't know how suitors used to work back in the old timey days. I have no idea. But the whole
old
Freudian,
days, the 80s.
Suitors in
older.
Renaissance era.
Oh whatever. Okay.
Whenever if Wheel of Time was an era.
Oh,
or
let's
whatever,
pretend the Two Rivers is okay.
Yeah. So that's just kind of what I'm saying. But what I was saying about the whole Freudian thing is that type of psychology used to be more popular versus just discredited completely. So
yes.
I'm thinking maybe he's pulling from that type style of thinking. So I don't know. I have no idea. That's the best I got for you.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Anyway, apparently it's very common.
Yeah.
Of what's happening in the Two Rivers.
And I've never born or raised in a tiny conservative village. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. Moving on.
Next
because
topic.
Then Nynaeve goes, oh, he must be like a second father to you.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve's like, no.
No.
And then Nynaeve's like, well, at least he's fit for his super old age because he's such an old man.
Yeah.
Apart from his limp.
Maybe he's a little older than Lan, but come on.
And then Elayne is like, he is still spry.
He is.
Pretty spry for an old guy. Remember that joke?
I do. It's a good joke. You can keep using it.
He could do a backflip if it wasn't for his limp, and I don't mind his limp.
Yeah.
It's like, Elayne.
But also, I thought we were over this.
Yeah. And so this conversation is not going anywhere, so Nynaeve just, gives up. And to end this off, Nynaeve asks Elayne if she's sure about Galad and what he'll do, because this is, a big fucking deal. They're leaving all their shit.
Yeah.
They're going to join the circus.
Yeah.
They're going off on the plan that they originally set for. I don't know why they can't just, go.
Just sneak?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole question of, Galad, giving
Would he,
chase.
Run them down? If they can sneak out of here, why are they sneaking to go join the circus? They could just, sneak over to, somewhere else.
Somewhere, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking it might be the whole Galad will give chase, so they need to hide.
Yeah, maybe.
So.
Okay, so Elayne is very sure.
Yep.
Which is why I trust her.
Elayne's the least reliable person when it comes to Galad stuff,
I don't want to argue about this anymore, actually.
I want to.
Well, turns out...
We're moving on to the next chapter.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Because we're not going to Caneland.
Yes.
There's only one option left.
Join the circus.
Chapter 17, heading west. And our chapter symbol's the elephant.
Yeah.
We get some good stuff in this one, actually.
We do, yeah, it's good.
So, we're continuing our Nynaeve perspective. From where we left off, the serving girl shows up with the bonnets, and Elayne is pretending to be asleep, and Nynaeve is pretending to fix a dress.
Yeah.
And, this is just a little side thing where Nynaeve is, pretending to fix this dress, and she thinks to herself, I would never admit to anybody that I'm not good at sewing.
Yeah, it's number one, why?
Why? Anyway. It definitely looks like to the serving girl that they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's the point of this. It's they're hunkering down.
The second that the serving girl leaves, it's time to go. And they take off. They sneak out the back door. They get to some alley. Super sneaky nobody's out. They don't get seen.
Now they get out.
Well, at least we think they don't get seen.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think that someone saw it legitimately?
I don't think they're as sneaky as they think they are.
Okay, because I was going to say, it seems like they kind of cover their tracks pretty good here.
It seems like they get out.
Okay, but you don't think so?
I do think so, but I also will not be surprised.
Okay.
If it's yeah, I fucking saw you leaving.
If Galad shows up, really soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even in I don't know, a while from now.
Yeah.
If they get chased down.
Yeah. It's like a Gareth Byrne situation where it's like hot on the tail.
Oh, yeah. They're for sure leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Swan and them think that they're fine.
Yeah. It's like, he is right behind you guys.
Yeah. And we're just not seeing that perspective of it.
Yeah.
I think that maybe, like, what if the next chapter is like Galad, like, sitting there watching them leaving?
Like, these.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't think they're as sneaky as they think they are.
Well, now I'm for sure going to turn them into the White Cloaks.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what are they doing sneaking? Okay, so we get a fast forward. Elayne and Nynaeve have walked about 5 miles west when Thom and Julian catch up in a wagon. Julian has made up some story so he could get his horse. Like he's
still
like,
called him wrong.
Oh, my lady. Oh, did I say?
He still said it wrong. Yeah.
What did I say?
Julian.
I don't even.
Yeah.
Care. He's made up some story about going to pick blackberries for my lady.
Yeah, friggin' ladies.
Friggin' ladies
want those berries.
Want those berries. So he got his horse without issue.
Yeah.
And then we get into some good information because Thom has figured out that Pedronile is trying to unite the nations against Rand.
Yes, good plan.
Which, oh my god, it makes so much sense. Because I was like, what has that guy even been up to?
Yeah.
Last time we saw him, he had all those like charcoal sketches of Rand laid out.
Yeah.
So,
and also like that perspective that we saw a long time ago, Pedronile was like, I need to unite the nations against Rand.
Right.
He did say that.
Shoot.
Because he was like, oh, the last battle isn't going to be some like big mystical battle. It's going to be like Trollocs pouring out of the Blight, and I'm going to have to rally everybody. So
right.
Yeah.
And then we just
told us
saw that. And there's probably
like more to it, but like
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Pedronile isn't blind to the fact that the two rivers just had like Trollocs literally everywhere.
Yeah, it's very possible.
I'm sure there were some messages going out to him about that.
Yeah. So like Pedronile is a believer in the last battle, but not in the whole like mystical sense of it. He's just thinking we're gonna have to like basically defend the world from Shadow Spawn. Yeah. So
and Dark Friends.
And Dark Friends. And probably Aes Sedai.
Probably.
And probably the Dragon Reborn.
Definitely that.
Yeah.
Definitely that.
Get him.
Okay. So, the last bit of this conversation has Elayne thinking about Morgaze, and she thinks her mother will support Rand since she knows the prophecies.
Yeah.
And she thinks that Morgaze has at least as much influence as Pedronile does.
Yeah, I do like that Nynaeve notices Thom doesn't seem to agree with that last part.
He like shakes his head.
Yeah, he's like, no, she doesn't.
No.
But...
And then at that point, though,
tied up.
Nynaeve thinks to herself, a court bard, you say? I bet Thom actually knows quite a bit, and I should pay more attention to the things that Thom is saying.
Yeah, except like you are 82 steps behind if you're only starting to pay attention to Thom now.
Yeah.
Like you are so far behind. Yep. So, yep.
Yep. But
anyways,
at least there's that.
And it's interesting that White Cloaks are more influential than like Andor is, just because Thom notes that there's White Cloaks like in every land and from every land, and the strength is that they're not like a nation, they're like a group, so they can go anywhere.
Right.
And cause,
it's also helpful that they like have a nation.
Yeah, they have a nation that's not a nation. That's not supposed to be. It's a nation that's
like based on their culture.
Yeah.
It's like
they've kind of taken over Amadicia for their own, but they're like, oh, but we're not a nation, so we're gonna go anywhere anyways.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is when Elayne thinks that it's best to avoid Andor at all costs to avoid a confrontation with her mother.
Smart. Also because Ravien's there.
Well, also that. But also, that's really annoying to me because I need them to go there.
Right, to save her.
To save her.
Yeah, because you were talking about...
That's what I really need to be wrapped up this book. That was my prediction in our Q&A the other night.
You did say that.
I really need that to get wrapped up because it's stressing me out. We're getting more information about it.
Yeah.
And oh man.
So the funny thing about this chapter and like directional like issues is that it does seem like we might be like scooping around, maybe going back north. So because Gildan is kind of like above where they might go to
Gildan, but I think that I just don't see it.
Directions are hard right now, so yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see them going to Tarvalin, and I don't see them going to Andor. Like, why does Elayne want to avoid a confrontation with her mother? Just because she doesn't want to have to deal with it?
Yeah.
Because she's been out of the tower?
Yeah.
And she's, like, not supposed to be?
Yep. And Morgaze was really pissed off at Tarvalin, even before the whole, Ravine thing, so...
Maybe. We don't know when Ravine got there.
That's true, but it didn't seem like she was happy.
Oh, because she got to Tarvalin,
yeah,
and Elayne was gone.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, it's possible, but, like, also probably Ravine came in a little bit later.
Right, and then didn't help the situation.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So...
Timeline's fuzzy.
Okay, so that's frustrating. Are they gonna get back to Tyr? Why would they want to go back to Tyr unless it's just like a place for them to be?
It's a place of safety for them to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a home base that they can get to that they know Rand conquered, so they are going to be welcome there.
Right.
But the real question is, like, how do we find the Gathering of Blues? And we're not going to do that on a boat, so we got to go cross country. So,
like, maybe still.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll still happen.
It's possible.
Should I just be really optimistic?
Yeah.
Really blindly hopeful?
Yes, that's the best way for
That's
any
not
problem to
my
be solved.
style. It's not my style.
Okay.
All right. Let's get to the circus.
Let's talk about the circus. Let's get there.
So, they make their way back to Luca's menagerie.
Yep.
And it's where they left it.
Yeah, they haven't moved.
Yeah, and Luca comes to greet them, but he's not very nice anymore.
It's not the same. It's not no speeches, no bowing, no.
He's like, if you
be
want
still my heart.
If you want your penny back, I threw it at you.
Yeah, go pick it up.
Go get it.
Yeah, I do like that he's like, oh, have you come down to the world? Because they're showing up not in style.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, or maybe you were never up at all and you're just a big liar.
Yeah.
So, sounds like it's going to go good.
Yeah. So, Luca just, like, shuts them down and is like, get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want you staying with me. You're the worst. You're mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're thieves, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Which is, like, kind of fair because the way I think of it is you went into a restaurant and then you tip, like, 15 cents. So it's not like a zero tip where you, as a waiter, could be like, oh, maybe they just, like, don't tip.
Believe in tipping,
which is still kind of sucky. But
at least, yeah.
At least it's not like you intentionally put like 10 cents on the table and said, suck it on your way out.
I know.
So that's what Nynaeve did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
When Elayne wanted her to actually give him money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all Nynaeve's fault.
It's all funny.
It's all Nynaeve's fault.
It is, yeah.
Okay. So Elayne pipes up and is like, we'll pay your expenses plus 100 gold marks.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
And Nynaeve is like, oh my god, we're gonna have to find a bank.
Yeah, because they still have those notes.
Those notes, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So they have cash, but like, they have some. At least they have over.
Yeah, and here's where we get confirmation. It's like, oh, take us to Gildan.
Yes, so now it kind of looks like a weird directional loop-de-loop, so, okay.
Oh, whatever. So luckily, Elayne has a cover story, and she's like, I am a lady, actually, but I'm in disguise right now because my brother is after me because a marriage has been arranged and I don't want to marry a short, fat old man.
Yeah, and her dumb brother's gonna bring her back.
Right, but she fully intends to marry a red-haired Anderman.
Ooh, and who is that?
It's Rand.
It's Rand, okay.
And so Luca is like, okay, fine, maybe you're who you say you are. But then he tells them that he doesn't want to endanger his group, so they're gonna have to blend in. They're gonna have to take up a job scooping horse poop.
Or have an act.
I
love this so much. It's so good. Because they can't just have them, like, paying their way, because then everybody's gonna talk.
Right.
So that's the whole thing.
Yes, okay, so what are you gonna be doing? Well, Thom... Is this where Thom picks up? Does he juggle first?
Yeah, so Tom's like, I can do stuff, check it out. And then he
starts juggling, and he's like, I have a juggler.
Yeah.
And then Thom starts juggling better and better and better, and he's like, okay.
And he's also like, I'm a fire eater, I am a knife performer, I'm a magician, I'm all these things.
Yeah.
So it's pretty great.
So he's like, okay, cool.
You're in. What about the other people?
And then Elayne,
oh
my god, has an amazing talent.
This is so good. I love this.
I was right about the tightrope walking, by the way.
Yeah, you were. Congratulations. That was good.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And did you check out what happened to the last High Walker?
Dead.
He died.
He fell.
He fell off and he died.
He's dead.
Yeah, this is before, like, the safety standards.
You should probably practice on a slack line.
Yeah.
Like, nice and low.
Well, it's also funny because... Luca was like, oh, you know, he would, like, drink a ton, but he could still do it. But, like, I don't even know what happened this time, so...
Yeah.
And that's why all the performers were, like, mourning his death.
Yeah, they literally buried him, like, that day, like, this morning.
Yeah, and then they're like, hey, Elayne has a skill.
And
so
she's
cool.
like, check this out.
Yeah.
So she weaves flows of air.
Yeah, so this is important because the mechanics of how she does it is important.
Yeah, because I definitely have questions about this.
Okay.
because as she was doing it, so
Yep.
Elayne climbs up the ladder.
Yes.
And then she weaves flows of air beside the rope.
Yep.
So that she has like a flat platform
Yep.
to walk across. But she makes it look like...
Yeah. She's basically just like hard. So what she's doing is she's making the air so it's a hard surface to walk on. But she's using not just the rope, but also the two, like the platforms to anchor the air so that it's connected to something. So for example,
like, can she just like make like stairs and walk up into air?
No, you can't do that. And we've seen that be demonstrated because Moraine, when she was in the ways, for example, like way back when, she was talking about how with the bridges, like one of the bridges had collapsed, and she was like, I can't just like make a platform into nowhere and do this. Like,
right. But
can't do it.
If, for example, there was a bridge in not the ways and you had both sides of it, could you technically, if you were skilled enough, and we know that Elayne was taught by the sea folk about weaving flows of air.
Yeah, so it's
right?
possible.
So she's like really strong in that.
So it's very possible that you could do that over a shorter distance, but it helps that there's platforms and a rope that she can like anchor the air across.
Okay.
It's not just like indefinite air bridges.
Because that 100% while I was reading, I was like, oh yeah, she can just do this? How convenient.
Yeah.
Like
you can't make indefinite air bridges everywhere you want to go. It's just like this is a very specific situation where she can be a super talented circus performer. Right. That's what's going on.
And then she also volunteers Julian.
And Nynaeve.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
She doesn't say Nynaeve's name. No. She was going to, and then Nynaeve was like, no.
Yeah. Everybody can do this. Come on up.
No. And then it's funny because when Elayne is doing it, she does it with such confidence. She even does some cartwheels.
Yeah.
And then picks up her dress.
And Luca's like, hey, those legs, that's going to bring in lots of money.
Yeah, look at those legs and your woolen stockings, which like still drives me crazy.
The woolen stockings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also really hot out. Like, I just can't imagine.
True.
Ugh.
Now you know.
It makes me so sweaty. It makes my feet sweaty thinking
We're
about
going to need some, like, information on woolen stockings.
Oh, that too.
Kaylee's going to come through probably.
Kaylee will do that for us. Yeah, she's got it. She's got the info on the clothes.
Yes, yeah. Old-timey clothes.
We should add in a segment.
Clothes time with Kaylee.
Clothes time with Kaylee.
Kaylee and Brett. We're going to talk about clothes.
Yeah, but like old-timey clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll come up with something here.
Okay, I like it.
I'll reach out to her.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Clothing Queries with Kaylee, our resident expert in all things old-timey clothing.
Why are they wearing woolen stockings in the summer? There are a few really good reasons. In an interview, Robert Jordan said he based Wheel of Time clothing off of European styles from the mid to late 1600s. That means everyone wears stockings, which are similar to modern knee socks, and usually garters every day. And there are only 3 fibers that clothes can be made from. Those fibers are linen, silk, and wool. Silk is a luxury fiber, so it's reserved for the rich and the aristocrats when they're not trying to blend in with the commoners. Plus, silk is hot, doesn't breathe well, and doesn't wick sweat. Linen wicks decently well and is lightweight and breathable, but it was always woven, so linen stockings would be sewn from a fabric that isn't stretchy, leading to a looser fit. They would also be pretty thin, which doesn't offer much protection from blisters and chafing from riding a horse or walking long distances. That leaves us with wool. Contrary to popular belief, good wool is not itchy. It's naturally crimped, which gives wool yarn a slightly elastic quality, which leads to nicely fitting stockings that stay in place with or without a garter. Wool is a great insulator that protects against heat and cold. You can think of it like a koozie or insulated cup that keeps your drink at a steady temperature, whether it's cold or hot. It is also very good at wicking sweat, which keeps you from feeling slimy and gross, and helps keep you cool even if it's too humid for your sweat to evaporate on its own. Wool can absorb 1/3 of its weight in water. That is a lot of sweat. Speaking from experience, wool is actually a pretty good choice for stockings, even in the summer. In fact, some of the best athletic socks on the market now are made from a wool blend.
Thanks so much for that, Kaylee. Now back to the episode.
Julian goes up. He knows their Aes Sedai, right?
He does. He doesn't know. He can't see this.
No.
He doesn't know what's happening until he takes a step and he's like, oh, okay, but he's still freaking terrified.
Yeah, and then Luca thinks it's hilarious because he's like, this is a great act.
Great act.
You did it so confidently, and he acted like he was scared shitless. That's hilarious.
So good. Good for money.
So great.
Hey, it's showbiz, baby. Come on.
And then it's like, Nynaeve, what do you do? And she's like, I pay you.
Yeah. I dole out the money.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah, well, he tells, because all the other performers like start coming up, and he tells them that Nana's act is startling.
Yeah, it's just like, her face.
This is gonna come full circle.
We also missed how Luca told Elayne that if she wants to stay, she could pretend to be his like lady mistress.
Oh yeah.
And stay in his bed with him or something, and she's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, is that where she like slaps him or something?
I don't know.
Okay,
probably.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, now we get an introduction to the new cast of circus performers.
Yeah, this is good. Hold on, before we get into the cast, I tried so hard to find a fun fact where like each performer might be like a hint to some like real world reference.
Yeah.
I tried I spent way too much time on it. I'm not proud of it.
Nothing. Came up with nothing?
I came up with like maybe one or two, but like it just wasn't there. So.
And imagine how much time you spent doing that. Like how much time RJ researched every name ever.
I know. Well.
Yeah. And it's funny because in my notes here I put RJ ups his character count by like 30 in one paragraph.
Love it. Yeah. Okay.
So we get the introductions.
Yep.
We meet all the people.
But one really important person.
Yeah, that one I'll get to.
Okay, good.
Okay, but first, after all of these introductions, there's one lady who really seems to be not fond of the new ladies.
Yeah, so Littell is the one who performs with the Bears, and she's like the lady, and then she doesn't like that there's probably two new ladies, it seems.
Right.
So.
Yeah, oh, and this is where Luca has that private invitation for Elayne.
Right.
And
yeah.
She slaps him.
Yes, yeah. And Thom also isn't very happy with Luca, so.
No.
Yeah. I mean, he's got nice legs, so hey. Luca has nice legs.
Luca has the well-turned...
He's a good-looking guy.
The well-turned legs.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Thom? Like, I don't know.
Well, you know.
I was like, Thom does not have good legs. He has a limp.
He has one very bad leg. But that other leg, okay.
Yes. Okay. So now all the invitations are turned down, and Nynaeve doesn't waste any time, and she heads right over to...
Yeah.
The lady with the elephants, who's been eyeing them up this whole time.
Yeah, so this is Sarandon.
When she introduced herself,
yep.
Nynaeve's ears perked up at the slurred way she spoke.
Yes.
And I was like, oh shit. And we know that the Shanshan have elephants.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, makes sense.
Oh shit.
So, okay. I'll come back to it.
Okay. So this is Sarandon?
Yes, Sarandon.
And Nynaeve is like, all right, what are these animals really called?
Yes.
And she's like, they're called...
Shredded.
Okay. And so Nynaeve immediately calls her out for being Shanshan. And when did you get left here by the Shanshan?
Yeah, because of that whole thing that happened on Falma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was there and I know.
Yeah,
and then
I love Sarandon, like, tries one,
like,
she gives it one go to try and lie.
Where is that? These are from Shara, and I am also from the Shara.
Yeah, this is where we come from.
Yeah. And so Elayne steps up and is like, nope, you're Shanshan, and we know. Well, she didn't say that. She didn't say she knows of it.
Yeah, she was like, you were totally part of that Thom and Head invasion. And then Elayne also is like, but we promise we're not going to hurt you. And Nynaeve has not promised anything like that.
No.
But... we do get some development with Nynaeve because she thinks that not all Shanshan are evil, just most. Yeah. Because they made that other friend.
Right. Who they left behind in Tenchiko.
They did. She's gone now.
She's got her other stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sarandon pretty much gives over right away and tells Nynaeve and Elayne exactly what's going on.
Yes.
And it seems like she's given up being afraid or hiding, especially since Nynaeve and Elayne basically already know. So, long story short, she's the elephant trainer.
Yes. Yeah.
And she was left behind, just like most of the Shredded elephants.
It's hard to pack up elephants on ships quickly, probably.
Oh, yeah. So these three were left behind. It's all she could rescue at the time.
And it's kind of sad, like poor
now
elephants.
She's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're being used. It's not poor elephants. The elephants are probably happier not being used for work.
Oh, I was talking about like a bunch of the elephants got left behind.
I bet the elephants are happy for it.
No, they all probably got murdered.
Oh.
Like all the ones who got like left behind probably
Unless they
didn't
ran
get
away.
wrangled.
I don't know. I don't know if people are able to just like murder elephants in this day and age.
Well, oh, that's fair. Okay.
I think the elephants probably got away.
I just had a very, glum outlook.
No,
whatever you
I
wanna
was
call
like,
it, on
this is great.
Oh man, they just like.
The elephants are free.
Okay,
of the
I like that
slavery.
much better. That's way
yeah,
better. Okay.
Yeah, because they're being used as like work animals and like war animals. Now the elephants just get to go like roam free, probably an Almouth Plain.
Nice. Okay. Hey.
It's now the elephant plains.
New name.
New name.
Shredded plains.
Shredded.
They're not elephants. They're shredded.
Right. Okay, and then just in case we forgot, we get a whole reminder about the Shanshan and the Suldam and Damani
Yep.
and how that whole thing works, and they use the Adam to enslave channelers, and Elayne is like,
We know all this stuff.
we know all this stuff. Are
Yeah.
you one of them? Are you a Suldam?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my god, you know so much. How do you know? I haven't met a single person who knows anything of the Shanshan here.
Yeah, there's stories flying around, but like most of them are not true at all. So
Right, yeah. And then so Saranan says, you guys sure know a lot about Damani and all that. And she goes, but I don't have the spark. I was tested as a girl. I can't even learn.
I train elephants.
I train elephants. That's
Yeah.
my job. And it's like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
And so Nynaeve tells her they want to know more and she better be honest. There will be time on their journey for that. And then Elayne promises again to keep her safe.
Yeah, so two things here that's kind of going on. So number one, it seems like we've got like a pretty subservient Shanshan who's willing to like share info with the women here. So that's good. But what's Elaine's game plan on this whole like
I'll keep you safe.
I'll keep you safe basically? Is she saying that for like Nynaeve's sake also? Like what's the thought process here?
No, I think maybe in all their conversations with Aeginin, whatever her name is,
Yeah.
I think that maybe it came across that she's worried being Shanshan and in this land.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's mostly just a way to get her to trust them and actually share accurate information.
That makes sense. She's alone in a strange place and by herself, so
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. But then wait until Sarandon. What's her name? Is that it? Sarandon?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
I just it felt so funny. Okay, so she realizes that she's been talking to a high lady of this land.
Of the blood.
Oh man, and she's like, I did not realize. Forgive me, high lady. I submit myself to you.
Hold on, she prostrates her.
She
on
throws herself on the ground in front of her, like bowing down in front of her, kisses the ground in front of Elayne.
She's right down on the ground.
Elayne's like, get the fuck up right now.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Get up. And so Nynaeve freaks out. She's like, get up. Don't do this in front of people. But Luca totally notices that this happened.
Okay.
And so Elayne is like, stand up, stand up. Nobody requires you to act like that. Not here. Shut up. Just quit it.
So here's the thing. Does Luca know? So Luca told that totally made up story about the whole Shara thing. Do you think that he actually knows that she is Shanshan? And he was like, we need a different story. I can't say that you're like this foreign invader. You're from Shara.
Maybe, unless she made that up.
But like, do the Shanshan know what Shara is?
I don't know.
Like, Shara is so far away. It's like they just came and invaded the West Coast, and they don't know anything about anything else from what we can tell.
I have no idea. I don't have an answer for you.
And Shara's like the other side of the Isle Waste, which is huge,
know.
so, yeah.
Unless...
Other way around the world.
Unless he had stories, or like he was like, oh, I've never seen this animal before. It must be from a land that I've heard of. And he was
so
like...
Luca was like, are you from
Shara?
Shara? And she's like, yes, I am from there.
I could see that, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's totally a story.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't really 100% trust this Luca anyway. Like,
Rude.
he seems ready to throw them under the bus at any cost.
Okay.
Like, I don't get Dark Friend. I don't get... This isn't Lanfear.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't even ask.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
dropping the ball. Okay.
Yeah, meet a new character. Is this Lanfear?
Yeah.
No, this isn't Lanfear. It's not a Dark Friend, but I do think that he'll throw them under the bus at, like, the first second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
At this point, anyway.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll, like, gain a relationship of some kind with him. Not like a, you know, but, like, they might gain a connection in some way where he, like, feels the need to protect them if White Cloaks come around looking for them or something.
Okay. You're getting pretty, like, off the deep end here in the...
That's what I do over
yeah,
here.
Yeah. Okay, so are we done the Sarandon thing here?
Yeah, because then she tells Elayne, I am yours. Which is, like, super intense.
And it's like, okay, we got a new Shanshan friend. So you missed one super critical, super duper important thing about this entire chapter.
Oh my god.
I can't believe you missed it.
Oh my god.
So when we got introduced to our cast of circus folk, there was one person you didn't even mention. We have our favorite illuminator, Aludra.
Oh shit. I totally know.
Back in the fold.
Oh,
she's back.
Yes.
It's freaking Aludra.
I know, and I predicted that right.
Yeah.
Remember when you're like, there's other illuminators? So I was like, no.
This is the
Aludra.
one. Okay.
It's Aludra. I can't believe I forgot to.
Yeah,
I
totally
didn't write
missed
that
it.
down.
So.
I remember reading it and being like, "Oh shit, Aludra."
Well, because when I was like, "There's one person,"
out of her braids and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
It's funny because so she's dressed up as basically like a Terrabonner, and Nani was like, "Oh, she looks like a Terrabonner," but we know that there's a chapter house in Tenchiko, but she's actually from the Kairianen one.
Yes, she
but
is.
she's disguising herself as from the Tenchiko chapter house.
Yes.
Probably because that dang Tammuz might be after her still.
Tammuz.
Tammuz. Okay.
And Thom and Aludra have met before.
They have. Yes.
That's why when you were like, "Are you sure it's Aludra?" And I was like, we were off on some tangents, and I remember thinking, okay, well, Thom and Damin had an encounter, and like that randomly happened on the other side of the world, and I was like, of course this is gonna be Aludra, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's her. She's back.
Yeah,
we love
I was like,
it.
I wonder if Tom's gonna have another interaction with someone else he's met across the world.
Yeah. So
I
fantastic.
hope that she recognizes him.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's
like
pretty recognizable.
He is.
Saved her ass with Matt.
That's true. It was like Heroes in the Night, I think the chapter was called, too.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, because Matt was like, I want to be a hero. Yeah, but it was like dark and, a one-off instance, so who knows?
Yeah. Okay, now I think I know the answer to this question.
Okay.
But if you were going to run off and join the circus...
What would my act be?
What's your act?
That's a good question. I don't like heights, so it's not going to be that. I'm not that strong, so I can't be the strong man. There's no way I'm going near bears. So I'll learn how to juggle or do like magic.
You already know how to juggle.
I can juggle like 3 balls and that's it.
No, that's what I thought you were going to say. You can juggle.
Yeah, but like very limited, and I'm probably not good enough for a circus.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so I'm
but
going
like,
to practice.
If you were going to, that's your talent.
I would be scooping the poop. Oh no.
Ringmaster.
Yeah, there you go.
Forgot.
I could replace Luca.
No.
I could be the Zac Efron to his Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I
That's
didn't call
the
him
best.
Hugh Jackman once this time.
No, you didn't.
I'm losing it. I'm losing my edge.
That's who I would be. Well, I didn't ask you who Lanfear was. Lanfear's Littell because she was like, ooh, I don't like those women. Lanfear's not here.
She's got way more important things to care about.
Rand.
It's Rand.
Yeah.
You can ask me what I would do?
I was still thinking about me being Zac Efron. But yeah, you go. Okay, what would you be?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I took a circus
class.
class.
Right, you did.
And
I know what you would do.
I learned the trapeze.
Yeah.
And the silks.
And the ribbons, the silks.
Yeah, the climbing the silks. And
spinny and loop-de-loop,
doing the stuff.
crazy
stuff. It
stuff.
was a very beginner class, and it was lots of fun. But
it's not nothing, and it's more than most people. I can
had
bet.
a lot of fun. I learned quite a few things on the trapeze. It was way too high. That was scary. I could only do it on like the lower one.
Yeah.
Without like completely losing. And that was like with mats underneath me.
Yeah, that seems terrifying.
But
I
the
don't
silks
like heights.
were lots of fun, and I think I could get good at it, and I'd like to try again.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, fun.
Boom, fun fact. Okay.
Boom. All right, cool.
Yeah, so what are we off to next then?
I don't know.
Who knows? Joining a circus and doing something. Are they going to get away from Galad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's done. Okay.
I think that he might reappear at some point.
Okay.
I think that was just like a wrench in their plan because that literally threw them off.
Okay. And also kind of like let us know that, Galad's a white cloak now. So like
Yeah, that's all that was. It
okay.
was a plot device. We might get something about what's actually going on in the tower. We might get something. We might go back to the waste. I really am interested in what the heck's happening over in Kyria.
Because right now they're just like literally running.
To the border.
Yeah, to the Jengai Pass.
That was like last night. Oh, yeah. The Jengai Pass, whatever, yeah. So, and then the whole blues meeting that Swan is rushing to.
Yeah, that's true. We got a couple people it could be, so. And the whole parent thing.
Oh, yeah, where the fuck's that guy? I didn't even think of that guy. Maybe they'll run into him somehow.
Well, okay.
No.
Yeah, it's like really far away, so.
I do like all the subtle little stuff about like, oh, Queen Tenobia is doing something over here.
Yeah. The army's missing or something.
Yeah, but I think that's like a couple books away still.
Yeah, and you said Massima, prophet of the,
Oh, yeah.
That's not for a while, so okay.
All right,
yeah.
I want to go read.
Okay,
Okay, so this one's an easy one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Before you go run off and join the circus.
Nice.
I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
It's part of the pattern.
That's all for now, but until next time, thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Giannis, and Megan Smiley, with music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in supporting us and helping us to make really great content, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. And you'll also get access to some really great bonus content like early access to our regular episodes, bonus episodes, unedited video episodes, access to our live recordings, monthly Q&As, and more like stickers and keychains. Don't forget to find us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at The Wheel Weaves Podcast. We'd also love for you to join the conversation over at our Discord, and you can find the link to that in our bios on those social medias. We'd love for you to tell a friend about us. Referrals really are the best compliment. We'd love for you to leave a review and subscribe. That really does make a huge difference. Thanks so much again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.